Hey, what's up, comrade? So I just played and beat Princess Peach Showtime or Super Princess Peach Showtime, something like that, on the Nintendo Switch, which I emulated to great success using Ryujinx. So Princess Peach Showtime. I'm playing a bunch of games that I'm playing pretty much any game outside of like the sports games and the Mario Karts with Princess Peach because my daughter at this juncture is madly in love with Princess Peach, and she is, according to her, she is Princess Peach. You know, it's a very girl thing to do. It's like, Princess Peach is me. I am Princess Peach, so I want to play myself. Or more like, I'm like, okay, well, you can play. Here you go. And she's like, no, you play. I want to watch, and then make commentary, and then make demands. So what is Princess Peach Showtime? It's an interesting game. It's essentially almost like 10 games within a game. So the overarching narrative is Princess Peach and a couple of her toadies, her literal toadies, her toadstool friends. They go to this giant this giant like theater where they have a whole bunch of shows, and she's gonna spend some time just enjoying her like vacation and enjoying the shows and chilling and stuff. And then this evil witch shows up and is like, ah ha ha, my name is Grape, and I'm gonna take over this theater and have everyone perform the shows I want. And so then she takes over the theater, blows everybody out, and everybody's like, there's these creatures, I don't know exactly what to call them. My wife, who's more familiar with Mario lore, said she's seen them in other games. I've never. I mean, the last Super Mario game I played was like Super Mario World for the Super NES. And then I've like kind of looked at, I watched like a girlfriend that I had play Mario 64 in like junior high or something. Or maybe high school, like freshman year of high school. It was a long fucking time ago. Like whenever that first came out, I don't remember. It was a beast of a long time ago. Anyway, that's my only experience. So I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. So they got like light bulb noses and they're little yellow guys, and yeah, there you go. That they run the movie theater, and then a star pops up. Oh, so everyone gets blown out except like Princess Peach and some of these guys, and the theater all turns like purple, and we want to turn it back green by going through each one of like the movie show thingies and doing that. So, yeah, Princess Peach, I have to note, loses her crown, which my daughter was very distraught about. And she kept wanting me to leave the theater to get the crown. And I kept having to repeat to her, she's 5, that I cannot leave the theater. And then it came up a couple other times, like over the days that we were playing this, because we're playing like 30 minutes to like an hour maybe in the evening before it's like bedtime. Good stuff. And so then you have access to like these 4 different theaters, and each theater is like a different genre, and each one of the genres plays differently. And there's a total of 10 genres, if I remember correctly. We'll go over each of them so then you'll know for sure, but I think it's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm almost positive it's 10. And each one plays like pretty different. Like there's the combat ones, which all play like a little similarly, but then there's like a cooking one, there's like an ice skating one, there's like a mermaid one where you're like a singer, and those all play like completely different games. And not like so drastic that you have to learn like a whole new way to play, but they're different enough where it's like a nice break. And even the combat ones, all the combat's like pretty different. So it's a nice variety. And then essentially you play through 2 theaters of story with the they call them like the Stellas, I think. Or no, the Stella is, yeah, I think the Stellas. And then you have to go rescue the star of that genre who's trapped in like the basement. All right. So essentially you liberate the Stella, which lets Peach transform into that specialty, and then you play through the second one where you start as that specialty, and then you go to the third one and you like team up with the actual star character, and then you like defeat the boss of that, and then you like rescue them. And then there's 5 floors, and every floor has a boss. Technically the 5th floor has no boss, but it's like once you get through the 5th floor, you can go to the basement, rescue all the Stellas, I think is what they're called, and then it opens the door, and they help you open the door to fight Grape, and that's the end of the game. And then you can come back in post-game and like decorate the theater, which is not as, it sounded a lot cooler than it was. It's pretty much like you can buy set items for each floor, and they automatically go to like certain areas. So it's really not that in-depth of a decorating thing, which I was kind of disappointed by. My daughter seemed pretty fascinated by it. She really wanted to do that. Also, you can unlock dresses for Peach to buy, and then you can unlock... so there's a star. So there's a star that accompanies you right away and kind of like does the talking. As Princess Peach does virtually no talking, besides every now and then she'll say something, like voice acted something, and then she'll just make kind of like, like the typical kind of Mario thing, I guess, in more recent Marios. Is that they don't really have like long diatribes or whatever. So this star thing, that might actually be what the star is. I don't know. Stellas? There's Stellas too. Maybe it's a Stella. I don't know. There's like Stellas and... I already said Stella. I don't know. I can't remember the exact terminology. It's not important. So the star has a ribbon, and the ribbon is how when you unlock like the heart or the soul of like the cook, then the ribbon combines with Peach. The star ribbon, the star combines with Peach's like dress and turns her into like the cook Peach or like cowgirl Peach or like whatever it is. And so that's pretty fun. And again, so you start off each level, and you just have the star. You can swing the star, and the star like will lighten things up. There's like the whole power. It has the power of like encouraging people or doing whatever. And then once you find like the soul of like whatever the theater is, and this is only in the first time you play each genre, it unlocks that that specialty, and then you get like that unique power for that level. And then you do whatever like tasks you can do, and the whole time you're gathering coins, which coins let you buy like new dresses and ribbons, which are just like color. It's just what do you call it? It's just cosmetic. And then you get stars, which stars you have to get so many stars to unlock each boss at each level. And then when you play the post game, the stars go to like decorating the theater. So it's pretty straightforward, pretty basic stuff. All right, and like I said, there's four. Excuse me. There's 4 theaters. Yeah, so it is 10. There's 4 theaters per level. There's 5 levels, and then each level has like a boss. And then after you beat the boss and you like free that level, then there's usually like a challenge mode, and the challenge mode is usually based, I think it's always based on one of the combat jobs, so that you can rack up like more coins and unlock more of ribbons and stuff. So a lot of this game is just like a lot of the mastery of this game is the hunt for cosmetics, essentially. Because there were some levels, like there was a couple levels, I got like 1 star, and I had no problem beating the game whatsoever. Now, if I wanted to like collect everything, I'd have to go back and like track stuff down, but I didn't really give a fuck about that. So that's how the game plays. It's a Switch, so there's 2 buttons. There's A and B. One it's a Mario, right? So one like shoots the fireball, and one does the jump. And the fireball in this situation is like the attack, or using the starry, or just like whatever kind of bullshit the theme or the genre requests you to use. All right, so what are the 10 levels here that we gotta go through? The 10 genres. So let's start with what I remember first. There's a sword fighter. So sword fighter is pretty straightforward. You're like an Errol Flynn kind of like swashbuckling sword fighter with like a cool hat. And in these levels, you just kind of like kill your way past a lot of like Grapes minions. Plus, there's like a whole like Briar Rose theme, where like there's a castle you got to get to rescue like the king, but to get there you have to cut your way through like these not even tentacles, like vines, like these purple spiky vines. And so that's like the sword fighting story. And then finally you have to go rescue with all these, you do like, like I said, you start off, you're like in kind of like a fantasy, almost like musketeer kind of level. You rescue some people, you help them out, and then you find the soul of the sword fighter, and then you work your way to the castle, sword fighting things and running around. And then in the second one, you pick up where you left off. It's I'm trying to remember exactly what the story was there. It was slightly different. You're like chasing after something. And then once you get them, and then you go to to rescue the Stella in the basement, and you rescue them, and you do more sword fighting together, and you do some like cool new moves and stuff. All right, so that's 1. Number 2 is the ninja. So the ninja's cool. The ninja has like this charge attack, and also the ninja can like hide in the grass, and like if it can go up against like the back, and it can hide. And one of the things I haven't really talked about is every one of these levels and all these things are set up like you're performing a play. So it's got that aesthetic of like, being in a play. So like when I'm walking through the grass, I'm walking through like prop grass. That's like very obviously like prop grass, and it's all that stuff like that, which is kind of cool. And part of the ninja thing is not being seen. So a lot of guys will have lanterns, so you got to wait for them to turn, or you got to find ways to do that and whatnot. And then you're just you're sneaking in to kill somebody. So that's the ninja genre, or So the next one, we'll just do all the fighting ones. Those will be easy to remember. Okay, so that's number 2. So number 3 is the Western. So the Western is like kind of like less fighting. It's a lot more horse riding. So it's the Wild West. There's people being kidnapped by bandits, and when you get the soul of the cowgirl, so it's Cowgirl Peach, she can she uses her lasso to like snag people and stuff. And so a lot of these segments are like horse riding segments where you got to like jump, move to different sections. There's like 1, 2, 3 sections. You move up and down, and then you rescue all these people. And then in the second story, I remember distinctly because it's like a train chase where you go on the train, off the train. So it's pretty cool. A lot more horse riding, and then some just moving around on your own. All right, and then it is the martial artist, so Kung Fu Peach. It's like Chinese martial arts. In this one, you punch, and you can do different kind of like punch kicks. It's like you're comboing, but the game's just comboing for you. So it's cool to watch, but it's not that great. And then with these ones, with all 3 of the Kung Fu ones, there's like the anti-Kung Fu master, like the bad Kung Fu master. And like in the first one, you got to rescue the Kung Fu, like the good Kung Fu master, who's got captured by like Grape's Kung Fu master. And then the part of the thing about the Kung Fu thing that's fun is when you fight like the boss, you have to like hit key points. So like there'll be like a circle that goes down to like a star, and when it goes to a star, that's when you have to hit like the attack button, and you do that a few times. And then when you're rescuing the Stella at the end, you got to fight like 3 of these guys at the same time. It's pretty cool. It's very epic and very fun. So they do a great job with that, and it's very like Chinese kind of wuxia aesthetic. And then the last fighting one is the like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I think it's just like Mighty Peach. So it's like a mix between like a superhero, like it's almost like Mighty Number 6, that Disney show, and that I think it's a Marvel comic actually, or whatever, and kind of like a Power Ranger thing. So with this, there's you punch, you do like big punches, and they're big like mean punches, and you just like go fight like a big alien. And then in the second one, there's a lot, you have like a jetpack, and you do a lot of flying and fighting spaceships and fighting other stuff and rescuing scientists, and that's super cool. That's one of the funnest ones. And then when you rescue in like the final Stella, I think you turn into like it's one of the levels you get turned into like a giant form, so you can fight like a giant monster. It's pretty cool. So this is the 5 fighting ones. The non-fighting ones are the cooking show, right? So Cook Peach. And that one is super cool because you literally just make pastries and cookies, and there's 2 mini games. There's a cookie making mini game, and then there's a cake like decorating mini game. And they're like not hard, but they're harder than you think they would be. Like you got to be kind of precise without being like exactly precise. But they're fun little diversions, and I actually enjoyed the cook a lot, a lot. Then there's the singing Peach, which is the mermaid levels, and so she can sing to some. She can't do any attacks or anything. She sings in someone's fish, and the fish can like open things or move things. And then every one of the singing ones ends with like a song where fish like it's almost like it's not quite a what do you call it, like Pararap of the Rapper or something like that. It's not quite like a music game, like a Guitar Hero or something. God, there's like a term for it. I can't remember. Anyway, it's not quite like that, but it is kind of sort of like that. Like you have like a sphere, like an aura, and then fish will like fly into it, and then you have to like use the D-pad to like press as soon as they come in, so you can hit them. And then if you don't get them all, you still win. But if you get them all, then you get like more stars and whatnot. All right, so the next is the figure skating. So then there's a figure skating. Figure skating's cool. So there's the 2 buttons. You jump or you do like a spin. And all 3 levels, again, kind of like the Kung Fu one, have this like bad guy ice skater. So you gotta, and then you put on like shows. So there'll be like little areas, little lights on the ground that are like blue, and those you have to do spins on. And then if they're yellow, you do a jump on them. And then when you get to the boss, you have to spin into your friends who are being like hypnotized by the boss, and they join you. And once you get all your friends, you do like a circle around the boss, and that like defeats him. And that's how it works every time. But the ice skating was pretty fun too. It was another one of those things where it's like very tricky. You got to be very precise. Which a lot of this game is like super easy, and you don't have to be precise. You just have to be precise to get the stars. And again, you need so many stars, but you can just like find them out and about. And while we're talking about that, there's always areas in each level that are kind of like highlighted, but not like highlighted super obviously. Like it's like if you're looking for them, you'll see them, but they're not like, hey, go over here, right? Because I missed a few, and I was kind of looking for them. I don't really care that much. So I wasn't looking super hard. But if you go on those, you can do like There's one of the like the shoulder button. I think the right shoulder button will let you do like a pose, and if you do like a theatric pose in those areas, then it will take you to a different like backstage area, and you can get like more coins and stuff from those as well. And then there's just like hidden stuff in the level, like more coins, more stars. There's always guys with like a ribbon or a dress sphere, essentially, that you can find if you're looking. And then there's usually a guy with like a balloon who, if you hit him at the right time, you get more or less coins. All right, so we got two more. Let's see if I can remember what they are. Oh, I remember now. One of them's the thief. So the thief is fun. Thief Peach, because she's got like a grappling hook, and then she can like hack into stuff. And so, yeah. So what happens is the people got like robbed, and so you got to like counter rob them. That's like every one of them. All three of them are like that. And then she'll have sections where she's like escaping, and she has like a hang glider in her outfit, and then you have to do like you're like flying on like a side scroller, kind of like a radius, and you have to kind of dodge out of stuff, and you can pick up stuff, and it's super fun. And again, like you use a lot of the grappling hook, and it's very exciting. The thief part is one of the most exciting because it's like so fast. Like there'll be like grappling hook, grappling hook, grappling hook, grappling hook, grappling hook to get through stuff, and stuff will be like exploding, or like guys will be like, it'll be a lot of fun stuff like that. And then there'll be like these locks, and you have to go stand by the locks and like use your attack button for like a couple seconds. So, and then you can like your grappling hook has like a charge on it, so then there's robots that you fight against, and you can charge them so they'll stop for a minute. And it also has like, if you want to avoid being detected. And then the last one is the detective. The detective one, again, it's like a totally different game. No attacks. All you can do is investigate. So you can investigate people and be like, you're guilty, or you can investigate stuff to like find stuff. Like you can investigate like a mummy's head to find information out about it, and then you use that to figure out who like the guilty party is, so you can find the bad guys, or you can like get through the levels. And they're all like that. And then there's like a junior assistant in the first two parts, and then dun dun dun, the junior assistant ends up being the bad guy the whole time. So at the end, but I don't remember. I don't think it's the actual bad guy. It's like he was hypnotized to be the bad guy or something like that. I can't remember exactly how it went, but so that was fun because it's much more. The whole thing is much slower. You can like, you actually talk to these other people and have like conversations, and then you got to like use your own deductive reasoning, which I'm an adult, so none of that was like difficult to kind of like deduce, right? It was all pretty obvious stuff. But if you're a child, right, like there's no way my 5-year-old can like barely read, so she's not going to figure it out. But even if you're like 7, 8, it might take you a little bit of time to kind of like figure it out. I can see this being kind of frustrating for younger kids, but that's the detective part. All right, and so the last thing to really talk about is the bosses. So the bosses are all kind of like theatrical things. So like there's a snake who's like a spotlight. There's like a cat that is kind of like the stage crew. There's a dog. What was the dog? There's an owl who is like a disco ball kind of situation. And so it's all very interesting. And then it's a typical Mario thing. They each take 3 hits. There's different ways to get them hit them each 3 times. Usually by like throwing something at them using your star. And you fight them all with like just your regular you and the stars, swinging stuff around with the ribbon. But they were all pretty fun. They're all pretty interesting. The snake one's the most interesting because it's like a maze. It's kind of like the Scarecrow's maze from that first Batman Arkham game, where you have to like hide. Maybe it was the second Arkham game. One of the Arkham games, you have to like hide from Scarecrow. This is like that. You have to hide from the snake until he looks away, and then you can go to the next portion, and eventually you get to like the thing you need to hit that like blows up in his face, and he's like, "Rawr!" And you do that 3 times, and that's how you beat him. So that was fun. The cat one's fun too. It's like the rooms. There's like a room when you have to like kind of hide from the room, and then get him to like hit his own face with like his paw or something. I can't remember. And then the bird one is interesting too. It just drops like these disco ball eggs, and you have to shoot them back at him or her when she's flying past. And then the last one, of course, is Grape. So Grape, before you go to Grape, you combine the power of all the Stellas to create like Radiant Peach, and then you like shoot lasers and stuff. It's pretty rad. It's pretty epic, like Magical Girl kind of ending to this whole situation where you just like power the fuck up. And it was fun. Grape has I want to say 2 phases. So there's the first phase where you're shooting at something and you got to move around, and she keeps putting like barriers up, so you got to get past the barriers, and she's trying to hit you with stuff. And then there was like another phase where you're flying around, if I remember correctly. And then you defeat her for good, and everyone cheers and celebrates the opening of the theater. And then there's like some, the toads come back in and put the crown back on your head, and it's all like during the cutscene or the credit scene. My daughter was like, "Yay, she's got the crown back! Yay!" And then you can do the post game where you can just get more. You can essentially get all the stars and coins and all the frivolous like. What do you call it? Cosmetic stuff, and then you can like buy like when I talk about decorating the theater, it's like you can buy a statue for the first floor, and that statue will go in the same. It goes where it goes, and you can buy ribbons for like the columns for each floor, and they are there. You don't put them anywhere. You buy them, and then they're instantly there. So it's really not that. I feel like Nintendo could have done a little bit of a job just letting you kind of like free form whatever you want for decorations. That would have been more interesting, I think, especially according to my daughter. But yeah, so Princess Peach Showtime was an interesting game. I think it's great for like if you're like a 7 to 12-year-old girl. I think you'd have a blast playing it. It was all right playing. It was, like I said, it was pretty easy. If you want to max it all out, it would take a little bit more skill, but the game doesn't require that of you at all to get through it. And, some of the stuff, like, I really like the cooking stuff. Like, I play more of a game just doing that. Like, a little more, like, it would get boring after a while if that's all they did. But you could expand upon that and make, like, a very interesting game. So, I liked it. It was fun playing through. And it was interesting. It's always interesting when Nintendo does with some of this stuff. But, yeah, cool. I will catch y'all later. Bye.